Hopefully folks on Instagram now can see this as we're working. We did a cool thing on Instagram for those who were there, so you can see an iPad, so you can see the call and the painting at the same time. And those of you who are on Facebook can see the painting and the palette and everything. So, all right, well, it's been a crazy week for me, but this is so relaxing and so fun just to see friends. And so we've got a few cool things to show you guys and share some stuff. The theme today is blue. I've got this painting here. Let me turn my camera here. And this painting, let's see, this one is what I'm working on during the call. We are auctioning this off today. So by the end of the call, this is gonna find a new home. That includes the delivery, no matter where you live. And the proceeds are going to benefit the early responders and healthcare workers. And I think I'll share with you the nonprofit that we're sharing. I think it's is it Terry? Who is it with again?
Yeah, it's UNICEF.
Okay, UNICEF. So because they've got a whole program for COVID. So we'll be getting into that, and I'm just going to be working on this. And we put the ad out for this call, and we actually, if you want to, Terry, do you want to explain to people how this works?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Hi, everybody. So we all thought it would be a great idea if Nick did this, and the blue painting idea and supporting the healthcare workers and first responders. That's why we chose the color blue, as you know. So Nick's been working on this painting, and we have a link for you guys if you want to bid on it. And we
do they get that in the comments, or where do they get that?
Yeah, they're going to get that in the comments. And some people got it in the email that went out, or it was also on Facebook. And we're going to take increments of $10. And every so often, I'm going to come in and tell you what the highest bid is, so that you guys will know where it's leaving off. And this painting, can I mention what your painting goes for normally, Nick, so that people kind of know?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. So this size that Nick sells is $1,895. It's a 12 by 12. It'll be framed, signed, and the delivery is included in the actual bid and everything. So it's no cost, and 100% of what we raise will go to UNICEF. And UNICEF is working, it's a global charity, as everybody probably knows, and they are like millions of gloves, surgical masks, respirators, and protective gear have been dispatched since the outbreak. And they're also helping with equipment and supporting health workers. So that's why we chose UNICEF. So
cool.
That's it.
And I'll find the frame in a minute. I might need AJ to find me a frame, but yeah, anyway, okay. So, and is there, what's the bid on this thing? Where are we right now? Because some people bid on it, which I'm so thankful for, because I was woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, oh my God, no one's gonna want this. And I was so scared. So,
but yes, it was nice to, you were really scared, and it was like, we all felt really bad, like, oh no, did we put you on the spot? So I'm happy to tell you that the bidding is actually at $700 right now.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so I'm watching it in the background, and as soon as it gets raised, I'll chime in and every so often and tell you what the most recent bid is. So I'm keeping an eye on that during this call, and we'll make the decision by the end of this call. So it's not going to go on for hours afterwards. At the end, we will take the highest bidder, and that will be.
This is just a fun thing, you know. But it was such a fun idea, and then I started thinking about it, and it's like, it's actually terrifying, because I'm really trying here, and I have to do the call and try and paint. You know, I have to make it so I like it, and but I like it already. And that's what I had to do. I came in early this morning and started working on it. I changed some colors and stuff. So, so I'm pretty confident that I'm going to wrap this up in an hour and a half. Okay. So let's see here. Okay. So I thought what I would do is, before we get going, I wanted to just, I chose blue. I mean, we chose it for a couple of reasons, but just the whole idea this week was just what colors resonate with you and what, you know, and there's stories behind colors, and blue for me has always been, I love water a lot. I love water, and I love swimming in water, especially kind of ultramarine tropical water. And I that's one of my, so whenever I use that color, I think of that. I think of it as a spaciousness, as freedom. You know, it's color can be, you can imbue it with any meaning you want. You know, it's almost like it's an abstract concept, which is so interesting because we're all so used to colors, but they're completely abstract and they're metaphorical. And so, but the first memory of blue for me was when I was a little kid. I used to do these model airplanes. I was really into World War II airplanes. And I just want to share you, because there's a color that I just absolutely love from my childhood. I just want to share with you what that is. Let me go here. Okay, where are you? There we go. Okay. Am I sharing this okay, you guys? It doesn't seem.
It hasn't come up just yet. It's taking a little bit longer to load than.
Bring your share
wall.
Oh, it's saying it's bringing it. I had too many windows open. Shoot. Sharing is paused. Resume share. Is it working now?
Not yet. Could you stop sharing your screen? Maybe just start the process over again. Let's try one more time.
Okay.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. We will work through this. There we go. Perfect.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So here's this plane. So these were, I used to draw these all the time. So my dad and my mom were in England in World War II.
Actually, Nick, what we just see is actually just your desktop right now is what we're seeing.
Oh, okay. Let me fix this. God. Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, Nick, it looks like you turned off your camera now. Okay. There we go.
No,
so
you can
see your overhead shot right now.
This is my Logitech. It's my FaceTime camera.
Right now we're seeing the overhead shot.
I know. What do you want?
It sounded like you were going to share something.
Yeah, I am. Which camera do I use? The FaceTime camera or the Logitech?
Are you sharing a PDF or are you sharing?
Yes, I'm sharing a Google slide.
Okay, so on your computer, you need to share that document by hitting the share screen button.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did. Okay. All right. Okay.
Is it a PDF?
See it now? No.
So right now we can see your whole desktop. We can see
it's not working.
Your web browser. We can see yeah.
It's not working.
Can you maybe Slack the link to Ferris and
see if I can open it on my end.
I'm sharing. How about now?
There we go.
Okay. All right. So anyway, so my parents grew up in England in World War II, and these are called Spitfires, and these were the British Air Force. These were the planes that they defended England with, and I was really into these and used to make models of them, and I painted them, and it was actually really hard to paint these, and it was my first. I was pretty young, and my dad, who was an artist, would help me. And the thing about these planes is the top of them would look like this. So if you were in a German fighter plane, and they would have gun battles, they would fight in the sky, and they would be shooting at each other. And so when the Germans were planes, Messerschmitts or whatever, were above the airplane, they were hard to see because they were looking down. And this camouflage would make them blend in with the English countryside. So it was hard to see. But underneath, if the Spitfire was above them, you can see that it was that pale blue color. And this was so hard for me to mix. And I tried to do it. And my dad would say, it's a duck egg blue. It's a duck egg blue. It's a certain kind of blue. And it's not and it's the blue color of a sky that's got a lot of yellow in it, and it's super, super pale. And it's this beautiful blue color. And I use this blue color all the time. But I remember I was so frustrated as a kid trying to learn to paint this, because this is what the sky color was like. So if a plane was underneath this plane trying to shoot it down, it would blend in with the sky. So it's the color of duck eggs and chicken eggs, these beautiful colors. I just love these colors and these blues and these greens, these pale greens, high degrees of complements in them. Many colors in these that make these blues, these pale blues, look so beautiful. So that's a color, this blue, this one right here. I use this all the time, and I'll show you. I'll demonstrate how to mix it. So let me do that right now, because it's kind of cool. Let me just. Okay, so I'm going to show you how. Basically, it's pretty simple, but you can start with almost any blue, but it's sort of a cerulean blue. And then I take, there's a lot of yellow ochre. There's a lot of colors in this, for one thing. That's one thing, but yellow ochre. I'm going to take some yellow ochre, mix it in. It's very pale, some orange. I'm going to get a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to use a little bit of purple to complement it, so it makes it less yellow. This is why it was so hard for me as a kid to mix this, but I know how to do it now. It's really washed out. It's such a beautiful color though. But it's very warm. It's got like almost like wheat color in it, you know. That's why I keep adding that yellow ochre. But it's blue, so you got to keep it. Got to get a little bit of that blue in there. That's a little dark. See, it's kind of hard to make. That's getting closer. Do you see that? This is the color of duck egg. This blue duck egg blue. That's it, pretty much right there. Even a little lighter, and even a little less. It's right on the edge of not being blue, right there. That's it. That's the color. Okay. All right, so I just wanted to show you that. And I'm gonna hop over. My friend Nance Miller is here, and she is, she's a painter, and she does sculpture and installation and all kinds of cool stuff. And I called her up at the last minute, and she agreed to be here. We do a lot of hiking, and so since we're not hiking that much, she's able to join us here. Hey, Nance.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, sure. So what are you working on, and where are you, first of all? Let everyone know where you are.
I am in my kitchen because I have a shared studio at ICB, so none of us are going in right now because we can't, it's hard to keep social distance. I do have a studio in my backyard that I love to use, but I don't get Wi-Fi out there. So I'm in my kitchen.
Yeah, you're actually in your kitchen, yeah.
Actually, I'm going to regret this. I'm oil painting on my kitchen table. I love blue. I'm so happy to be here for a blue conversation.
So many of your paintings are blue. It's crazy.
Yeah. And
what does blue mean to you? Like, why?
I thought about that while you were talking. I think I have probably spent at least 30 to 40% of my life staring at the sky. There's something about blue skies and clouds going by. I do put a little bit of yellow in my blue. So I loved hearing your talk about how you mix your blues. But there's just, it feels so healing when I'm working with blue. Whenever I'm stuck in my painting, I'll just get out blue paint and start working it around on the canvas. And that's sort of my way in. It's kind of the key that unlocks if I'm really stuck.
Yeah. 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 It's interesting. I don't think of it as sky. I think of it as water, but of course it's sky.
That relationship between the two.
Yeah.
A lot of my paintings, when I have the blue and I have the blue and the white, which I've started working on one here.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times people will come in and they'll try it both directions because the blue can work as the sky or as water. So that's
Oh,
the
right.
key.
Right.
Yeah.
So so your paintings are, do you have any paintings there to look at?
I don't. I sent some in to Terry this morning.
Oh,
I
good.
don't have
Okay,
anything.
well, maybe
here.
Terry, if you can get those ready so we can show folks.
Sure.
But other than painting, I'm here working in gardening as a form of art. You know, you were talking in one of your talks about that.
Yeah.
And I'm collecting artwork to send to people that are shut in hospitals and nursing facilities.
Yeah, so that's interesting because you were kind of, so what is that? What is that all about?
It's called Art to Heart. And I have a website at arttoheart.us. And people just draw a picture, you put to my friend from and your name. Normally I do it as an exchange, but with the COVID pandemic crisis, people are sending me artwork and I send packets of artwork to nursing homes or hospitals to shut-ins, and I don't promise a piece back in this craziness.
And my friend Carrie, actually, who was on this a week or two ago, she was doing that, but a lot of places were saying they didn't want anything sent to them because, right? How do you get around that?
I have just talking to people and getting ins, and then what I do, when I collect the artwork, I quarantine it here, seal it up and quarantine it for 48 hours, and then mail it and have them quarantine it for another 48 hours before they open it up and send it out.
Oh, I see. That's great. So this is like, what are people, so you're just saying like, I could just do like card for someone I don't know and just say, hope you're doing great. And
yeah,
wow.
We're thinking about you. Yeah. As there's a digital version as well, that involves a little more work on the other end. Then you don't have to deal with quarantining, but somebody has to print them all out on the other end.
And this is your thing, right? You were doing this years ago. I mean, you've been doing this a long time for kids in schools, right?
Yeah. Because I'm also an elementary school teacher, and I work in orphanages and shelters and with street kids all over the world. We've done about 10,000 exchanges around the world.
Wow, it's so cool. So I didn't realize that you've kind of converted your organization a little bit for COVID.
It's just been in the last, 4 weeks that we've been we've been in this situation. Yeah.
Wow, that's so great. And what is do you get to have a response from people, or?
It's just starting to build. You have to get word out there, and then there's a lag time of people getting the work done, and then word of mouth, and it's just starting to build now where I can really get some good stuff.
Well, that's just great you're on this call, because a lot of people will watch this, and then we'll have all your info links. What's the website? You may as well just say it.
It's art, A-R-T, to the number 2, heart, H-E-A-R-T, like art to life, only is art to heart.
Okay.
.us.
.us. Okay, that's great. Well, fantastic. That is so cool. God.
Other than that, I'm in my blues. Do you want to know how I make my blue?
Yeah. So let's see what you're making. Now you're working in oil paint, right?
I'm an oil painter. Yeah. My favorite go-tos are Williamsburg, Indigo.
Is that a warm or a cool blue?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Gray in it, but the Williamsburg has a little, I don't know, just a little something extra in it that makes it a little more wonderful. I don't know what they do, but I made the pigments just a little bit. Pigment load. Oh, you're not gonna be able to tell what it is because it's so well used. Graham, they're transparent yellow oxide, and a titanium white. I use a lot of white.
Like That's what you mix together to make a blue?
Yeah. And that's where I get on my blue.
Show us that.
If I want to brighten it up a little bit, I use like a teeny touch of ultramarine. If I want to green it down, I put in a little more of the iron oxide.
Can you?
That's my blue.
Can you demonstrate that blue? by tilting your screen forward? That would be super cool. Even if it's upside
Try.
down.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay,
you
so
start with, now Williamsburg, that's a great, those are really nice, that color.
got it close. That's my Williamsburg.
Uh-huh.
Got it all? It's kind of messy.
And indigo is like a deep blue.
It's really deep. Let me get it clean. It's a really, really deep, dark, luscious blue. I'm gonna put my palette on. So here's my palette. Does that work? Can you see anything?
Yeah. That's great.
Deep blue.
That
Here's some-
indigo is almost like black.
And then, yeah. And when you put in the white, it just pulls it right out.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
Get some, then you get into these beautiful greens when you add the titanium yellow. Here's one that I've already mixed with a lot of white.
Pull your thing back. You're pulling titanium. Yeah. Oh, okay. What's that yellow stuff? Pull it back a little further.
This
What's
is
that?
the,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
the iron oxide.
Wow.
The
Doesn't that muddy
Which
it?
looks like what it does, so you see how it's giving that almost a greenish. Now, if I
Yeah.
put more white in there, brighten it right up.
Wow. That is beautiful.
You get so many different tones with just these three colors. I
So
can
the
do
three
paintings
colors
that
are
go
indigo. What were they again?
indigo, transparent yellow iron oxide, and titanium white.
Is
You can go into
transparent
just this.
yellow oxide, is that what, is that like what? I don't even know that color. I mean, is that like a golden color or?
It's from M. Graham. Here it is on its own. I don't know, can you see? I'll pull it out. Whoops, I have a dirty palette knife. It's kind of like almost like a brown in the brown family,
Oh yeah.
but it makes this beautiful green that goes perfect.
Wow.
Mm.
That is gorgeous. So it's like a musky blue. Like it's not like, I don't know. It looks more watery to me than sky, but
It keeps it super earthy.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
both indigo and the iron oxide and titanium, they're all earth elements. And when you get them all together, it really earths up. So that's what I do.
That's beautiful. Wow.
More white in here. Get this really, like the heart for San Francisco heart thing, it's just these three colors. You can get into these beautiful yellows. It's just really fun. I can get so many colors with just these three tubes. Now I'm making a mess. All right, that's what I do.
That's great. Now do you start your paintings? Are they mostly, well, maybe Terry, can we look at some of her work?
Sure. I actually put them on the same doc that you have the other information on.
Oh, let me see what that is. Hold on a second. Let me just check here. Hold on. Oh boy.
I think I saw it open on your desktop or your.
Okay. All right, let me find it. Okay. See.
And Nance, can you hold up what you're working on right now again?
Yeah, it's just a base coat.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, if there's any questions, you guys, I can't see them, so you'll have to ask.
While you're looking for that, I use a lot of cold wax medium. I make my own. It's easy to do. I recommend it.
Oh, you make your own. Now, how do you do that?
I can make a big jar like this for about $5. It's
You're kidding, because that's like $60.
right.
Wow.
And it's super easy to make. There are lots of recipes online. I use 1 part. What do I do? I use 1 part bleached beeswax, which I get on Amazon in little bead things, and 3 parts Gamsol. And you melt down the beeswax in a double boiler, take it off, pour in the Gamsol, stir it up, put a lid on it, and you have cold wax medium in about 5 hours. It sets up.
Wow.
Super easy. And I can play with the texture and get it the way I want it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I use a lot of that.
Awesome. I was going to say that's really awesome. And we're going to ask you if you would share that and we'll put it in our PDF. Would that be okay?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that is huge, you guys. I mean, seriously, I don't know. I think ours are $60 or $70 are the same, a gallon of it or whatever that I use.
It's expensive. Some of, and also some of they have some other elements in it. This is just pure. It's just wax and Gamsol, and the Gamsol evaporates. You can, sometimes I've made it with Damar varnish in it, but I like it better without it. So there you go.
Cool.
That's all I got.
Stay on because I want to share. I want to show people your work.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Okay. So, okay. So can you see that okay, you guys?
Yep, I can see it great.
Oh, great. So how big is this, Nance? And that's cool. It's so earthy.
Thank you. That's a smaller one. That one I think is 20 by 20. It's called City Lights. And in that one I added a little more neutral tint, Sennelier neutral tint, to give it a little more of that purplish color. And it's got the yellow iron oxide and a little bit of the same company, M. Graham. They make an orange iron oxide, which is just a little bit darker than the yellow orange oxide.
So you like this paint company called M. Graham? I've never even like heard of it. So
I like it because it's pure. They're like Williamsburg. They're just pure, good quality.
wow. Okay. Well, we'll provide links for that, you guys. And that's beautiful. When was that one done? When did you make that one?
Maybe 6 months ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, I think that painting is hanging right now at Ruby Living Design in Mill Valley.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. These are getting simpler. Your things are getting simpler. It's so nice. I mean, in a good way.
That one's called Transience and Permanence. They're 48 by 60 each. It's a diptych. And that's all just those 3 colors that I showed you. Just those 3 tubes of paint.
Oh, really? Wow.
All those different tones.
How big is that again?
Each piece is 48 by 60. So 60 by, what would that be? 96 by 80. Did I do the math right?
Wow. And how do you finish them? Like, what do you put at the end of it for the surface?
I use liquid. I know you're not supposed to, but it brings the colors back to life without giving a high gloss. And it's not matte, it's kind of in between. I also use so many layers of cold wax, where I use lots of cold wax or lots of pigment playing with the transparencies. And sometimes I use a little bit of Galkid if I want to speed up some of the drying or change the viscosity. So there's already a lot of protection in there. Those elements already protect the pigment.
Yeah, so cool. Wow, beautiful.
Thank you. And these are just quick ones I found. That one's in progress. Doesn't have a name yet, but that's just sort of to show the process. Just so many, that'll have probably 3 or 4 more layers of things going on in it.
They look, is it floral? I mean, it looks almost like those flowers out in the Tennessee Valley, you know?
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. It does kind of, huh?
Yeah, they totally. Wow, that
Yeah.
is really nice. God,
Thank
seriously.
you.
Wow, your work's really changed in the last little bit.
Since we were neighbors.
Yeah. Nance had a studio right across the hall from me for a while.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
This one's 36 by 40, so it's on the bigger scale. Those are the only ones I had pictures of, recent works I had pictures of here at the house.
That's great, though. That's great.
Thank you. Thank you for showing them.
Sure, sure. It's really good to, I know, a lot of us are working at home and we don't even have our artwork, but, and it's always funny. You never know, like that little tip about your cold wax and that blue color, man, that's just, we get so used to the things we do, but everyone's got little things like that, little things that they've, learned that they can share that are huge game changers, for people. So thanks for that.
Of course, my pleasure. Thanks for all that you share. I learned so much.
Okay.
Nance, we're getting one question for you about the indigo color.
Yeah.
What is the pigment number of the Williamsburg indigo?
Oh, there's so much paint on this. That, does that help?
One more time, what was it?
It's series 3. Here we go. Oh my gosh, there's a huge like thumbprint of paint. It says PBR7 natural indigo, or no, and then PB27 sodium, and then my thumbprint. But it's series 3. Does that help?
That might help.
If you look up Williamsburg indigo,
Pull it up on the Google
have
it.
that, right?
I might be able to do a little research into this, see if I could find that number. I think you might have already said what it was, but I'll do a little deeper dive. One other question people are asking about cold wax. Is it only for oil paint, or can you use it with acrylic or other types of mediums?
Only for oil paint.
Only for oil paint, people.
Yeah.
Doesn't work with acrylic. They don't dance well together.
Same thing with liquid, as people are asking, is that only for oil paint or acrylic?
Yeah. On the indigo, of all my color, every company, their colors are a little bit different. The biggest variety is in indigo. And I've tried all the different indigos and all the different paint companies, and they're vastly different from company to company. So you find
And that's
indigo.
your favorite.
That's my favorite.
Brandon, our team member, actually was kind enough to Slack or text me the specific link. So, okay, let's see if we can figure out what this is. It has all these indigo. Series 3. Oh, you did give the number. You were right. Series 3, number 6001043-9. And we'll put all this stuff in the PDF, everybody. So don't worry about writing that down if you didn't get that.
And maybe the only other tip I can think of is people have issues with the smell of oil paint. A lot of people won't use it because of different things. I use really clean pigments to keep the toxicity down. I wear gloves when I paint with it, and the only Gamsol that I use is in the cold wax. I clean my brushes in oil of spike lavender or straight in walnut oil. I don't use
Wow.
I don't use any of the what do you call them even?
Like, yeah, lacquer based, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't use any of the smelly stuff.
One more question, perhaps. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Sure.
please.
People want to know how you use cold wax with your work.
Okay, well, so here, let me make up a pile. Let me clean this off for a second. I would take, like if I'm just doing a base coat, I take a hunk of cold wax, and I take,
Might have to be a little further away because your palette gets cut off halfway.
like here.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, that's better.
So for like a base coat, I'd run about maybe 60-40. And I just mix it all in. Oh, this is, and then I like it a lot when it picks up some other colors that are already on my palette.
You're saying you put in 40% wax to the 60% paint?
Yeah,
Wow.
I use it heavy. And if I want a lot of transparency, I'll even go over to the other side where it's mostly wax.
Wow.
When I do that, sometimes I'll put in a little touch of Galkid just to make sure that it really solidifies in the drying time. So there we go. And then I just take a big dollop of it. This is my favorite tool. Let me clean it off because it's got blue on it from before. My rags are old bed sheets that I tear up. So I'll just take a big glump of it.
It's like you've taken all the scary things about oil painting away from oil painting.
Yeah, trying. So I put it on this is one of those like rubber wedgie things.
Yeah.
And I'll pull it on like that, just pull it across. I don't know if I can do this here.
Wow.
Pull some up. So I'll use this a lot for big areas, and then I'll use my palette knife or my hands for the other areas. A little more.
And how long will that take to dry?
It'll take, by tomorrow, I could do something light on top of it. But if I give it
Quick.
2 or 3 days, then it'll be surface dry enough that I can really firmly work another layer. And then for the whole piece to dry, it takes a week or 2. It's a lot faster than regular oil paint.
So would you say that the wax is a dryer?
It does speed up the drying tremendously.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because it's thicker, you know, you wouldn't think that it would do that.
Yeah, no, I guess because maybe it spreads it out more, so there's more oxidation. And I do for my white, for my titanium white, I use the quick dry, which already has a little bit of gal kit in it. Because titanium's the slowest drying one.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So this isn't a question necessarily about your practice, Nance, but perhaps you could speak on it, and you, Nick, as well. I know you can't use cold wax as a medium to mix in with oil or with acrylic paint, but can you use it as a finish on a dried acrylic painting?
Yes,
I've heard of people
yes.
doing it, yeah. And you can buff it to nice.
Sorry.
People are loving this wax. They're also wondering, okay, so you can use it as a finish on top of an acrylic painting that's dry, like 100% dry. Back to you, Nance. When you use cold wax with oil paint, why?
Well, it changes the viscosity of the paint. I can control the transparency levels. It speeds up the drying, and it also oil paint can get expensive. If I'm using 40% as wax, I just dropped my cost tremendously.
Wow.
And it also gives like a thicker texture with oil paint. Because I paint in so many layers, I like to really have a textured surface. I don't like to see the weave of the canvas, and it builds up a surface faster too.
Nick, you use cold wax in your practice.
Yeah, totally. I do. I use it. I'll use it on this acrylic painting. In fact, this acrylic painting will end up getting, I'll put gloss medium on it when it's done, seal it, and then let that dry. And then to take away the shine, I'll wipe cold wax on it and then let it dry. And then I'll polish it. And it just makes a really amazing finish. It kind of makes like a beach stone finish, you know, like a different kind of. And I use it on my oil painting, my large paintings as well. I adjust the sheen. Well, I use cold wax in my oil paint, but also at the end, I do that. I get the surface is really shiny, and then I make it more matte with wiping wax on it.
What ratios do you use, Nick?
What? What
ratios do you use?
Never that much. It's funny. I was surprised. I'll put like in a bucket of paint, you know, that's half that. I'll put like, you know, a half, I don't know, maybe half a cup.
Oh, okay.
And it just makes the paint so you can use a trowel on it. It does make it richer. For me, it softens the paint. And I love that, because then I can come back in and I can scratch into it. You know, I can carve it. So, and it makes it more consistent, but I had no idea that you could add that much. I think I've just always been reluctant to do that. That's amazing.
One more question for you, Nance. Would that be possible? I feel like we're taking over all of your time here. People want to know how you wash the sheets that you use to wipe your hands, or do you wash them at all?
You can. I would go to a commercial laundromat, and I know artists that do wash them. I don't usually wash them. I figure they've already got a full life of a sheet, and now they've had a life as a rag. That's pretty good. But I do know people that take them to laundromats and wash them. I wouldn't do it in your home washer.
Very cool. I just want to be conscious of the time. Nick, are we good still on time? Or
yeah,
we could talk to Nance for hours and hours and hours.
I know. If you guys have questions or whatever, you know, we'll try and get a lot of them answered in the comments. But everything she's talked about, we'll put in to the show notes that will be available at tomorrow at kitchentableartproject.com. So Nance, thanks for being here. Super lovely to talk to you. And I'm so impressed. Like, wow, your work's really changing. I didn't even think you were painting. I thought you were doing all the virtual reality stuff.
I do that on the side for fun. Yeah.
We're going to have to like maybe have you back to share with everyone. You guys, she's doing virtual reality art. And that's another show, but I want to see that. I want to try it.
You'd have a blast.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, you guys. So we're going to hop on over to the one and only Laura, who's on my team. And she is going to be sharing with us a blue drink. Laura, is that the right way to describe
Coming
it?
in. Here she is.
Sure.
Okay.
The one and only Laura is here.
Yes. Now, why did you move to alcohol instead of showing us your artwork?
Because my art is singing, acting, and dancing. That is my art. So
Okay.
get as much as alcohol during this time. So cool. So I'm going to show you a fun blue drink. It's not going to be sophisticated like Ferris's was the other day because I'm not as cool as him or anybody in the world. Nobody's as cool as him.
How dare you?
You're pretty cool. You're pretty cool.
I'm not right. All right. So it's going to be fruity because I love sweet stuff. It's called an Ocean Breeze, and I made just a couple different variations to it. So we've got our blue curacao, which you can find at any liquor store.
What is that? What is curacao?
It's kind of like a citrusy tropical liqueur.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use strawberry vodka because, again, sweet stuff. So you can use regular vodka if you're not as crazy as me. And then lemon juice. So you can use like this if this is all you have. Or if you want to be bougie like me today, we're going to use an actual lemon. We're going to cut it. And you can use a shaker if you want, or if you don't have a shaker, just like a spoon in your cup works too. Put some ice in my shaker. I feel like I'm on the Food Network.
Yeah, I think this is your new thing. I love your kitchen. Like, wow, that's beautiful.
Thanks.
You have a massive, do you cook a lot? Like, that's a really nice range you have there. I'm jealous.
I don't love to cook, but I have to, so I do. Although I've been doing a lot of takeout these days.
And tell everyone, how old's your daughter? You're not only are you a chef, a drink chef, but you're also a mom.
I am. I'm a mom. My daughter's 2 years old, and she is the most beautiful, precious, sweet thing ever. Even though she's a toddler and does her toddler things, she's still the best. Okay, cool. Back to my drinking. So you're going to put in 3 ounces of vodka. So you can either measure that out or just count 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do a little extra because, you know, why not? And then you're going to do 1 ounce of blue curacao. And then you can either do 2 ounces of lemon juice from this, or you can just squeeze some fresh lemon in there, which is what I'm going to do. I like lemon, so I'm going to do a little extra. All right, then we shake it. I'm going to put some ice in my cup. You can use any kind of fancy cup you want.
Do you make these a lot?
I have today. I'm preparing.
Yeah.
Look how fun.
Oh, wow. That is beautiful.
All right, and then I'm going to put some fresh blueberries in it.
Oh, my God.
I love fresh.
I did like Ferris's drink, but I think this might be a little better.
Uh-oh.
Oh, challenge accepted.
We're just just gonna have to have drink offs.
I mean, you made the Francisco Ferris. Is that what it was called?
The Martinez.
Oh, the Martinez. That's right. Beautiful.
It is strong and delicious.
Wow. Well,
So that's it, really easy. And then also, if you have a kid like I do that's young and always wants to do the same thing you're doing and sees a really fun blue drink, then what I do is I'll put some lemonade in a cup and some blue food coloring, and then some blueberries, and then let her have one too. So there's your non-alcoholic version for your toddlers.
thank you. Very, very, that's awesome. And again, we'll have that recipe all written out. Laura will do that. And so Laura, what is blue? Do you have any thoughts on the color blue? Like, is that a good one for you or just a color?
Yeah, no, I love it. My husband is a police officer, so
Oh yeah.
thing here, so the thin blue line for us, and so yeah, that's meaningful to us for that. And I think it's a really good color. When I was younger, it was my favorite color was light blue, and I painted the walls in my bedroom that color. So yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, great. Listen.
Everybody,
Okay. Thanks so much. All right.
I got it.
All right.
Thank you so much for that, Laura. Nick, people are asking about the blue that you're using in your painting. Could you just tell us what color that is?
Yes. Nice segue.
Right? Seamless.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The blue I'm using, this blue, you mean the blue of the background?
Just, I think people want to know in general the blue
Okay.
that you're using in your piece.
Well, yeah. So this picture has there's critters in it. There's 2 sheep, a mouse, a starling bird, and a shrew. And there's a whole story here, but so that's kind of the animals in here. And the way I kind of think about this is this is like a blue forest, or is like this world. And I don't know if you guys ever like read Winnie the Pooh, but they have this on the inside of the book. They have a thing called the Wild Wood, where Eeyore lived in the middle of this wood, and there was this map and everything. And I loved that. And there were like little, it's like Ratty had a house and Eeyore had a house. And so that's what this is kind of about. So this is sort of a symbolism of that. And I like this for this COVID thing because they're all tucked away in their little houses in the woods. So I'm using blue. This is an ultramarine blue. Mostly ultramarine blue, pretty raw. Ultramarine blue is a warm blue. I think I have that right. There's a lot of red in it. I love it. I'm going to show you some of my blue paintings. There's a couple that use these in it. And then what I'm doing now is you could see I added all these kind of colorful circles, and now I'm taking those out, like I'll overstate them, and then I'll come back in a minute and I can sand back through and I can adjust the colors. I want to have a lot of rich color here, but I want the painting to be mostly blue. But there's some beautiful greens and oranges and little bits of red peeking through, but it's a blue like nighttime painting. These are too strong right now. They're going to get pushed back as well, but I have to paint them stronger than I need them. But I want this to be like this night forest with all these little things in the woods. So that's kind of the idea with it.
Awesome. Thank you for that. People are just loving this description.
Now, are we, Terry?
Yeah. I've been waiting for my chance to break in, but it's been
okay. Please break in. Are we selling this work yet? How are we doing? This painting's getting better, you guys.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to say, like, everybody's withdrawn their bids. They just don't like it.
Oh, geez. I knew I shouldn't have added these.
Well, I'm happy to tell you that the top bid right now is $2,000.
Are you kidding?
Nope, I'm not kidding.
Can you tell us the name of the person, the first name only? That's not a privacy breach. Just
yes, the first name is Christine. So
Christine, wow. Whoever gets this painting, I'm going to write on the back of it a note to you. So that's an added thing. Holy cow, that's huge, man. Thank you so much. And wow, so we're already above the value of this thing. This is a trip, you guys. We should maybe do this more often. We could probably get other people's to It's a little pressury, but it's for a good cause. And you know, it's funny, I don't, you know how it's weird selling your work, but when it's for somebody else and you don't profit from it, I can be like, this is a great painting. You need to, there's only one of these in the whole world. And in an hour, you'll never have an opportunity to get this painting again. You know, I can sell this because it isn't mine in a way, you know, it's like, I can be shameless promoter of the thing because it's not about me. It's about getting resources to people and helping in letting artists help other people. And so awesome. Holy cow. Terry, did that go up in fits and starts, or was that just like one person came in and just made a decisive blow?
Well, we had a few bids come in around 500 and then a 700 and then 1,000 and then somebody jumped to 2,000.
Wow.
So
Wow, we still have a long time, so maybe it will go higher. This painting's only getting better, you guys. I can feel it. So if it was worth $2,000 10 minutes ago, clearly it's going to be worth more in about 20 minutes. So what I want to do now is I want to share with you guys, I'm just going to share with you before we've got a few more people to talk to and stuff, but I want to share with you I'll just share some of my blue paintings.
And Nick, just quickly, this painting you're working on right now, is it on board or canvas?
Oh, it's on board. It's on panel. Yeah, this is on wood. Oh, and AJ brought the frame over. This is how it's going to come. This is this is how I frame all the work. It's really beautiful. It's going to be in this frame mounted, and it'll be written to the owner. There'll be a message on it, and yeah, so it's on a panel, and that's how it's going to be sent out, which is kind of groovy. Kind of elevates it a lot to have that work. Awesome. Okay. All right. So I'll share with you guys some other of my paintings. Let's see here. Oh, sorry. Logitech camera. There we go. All right. So let me share with you guys this. Okay. All right. So this is, oh, so hold on a second. Here's one of my paintings. This is about,
You can see it.
or can you see that okay?
Yep, looks good.
Yeah, so isn't that interesting? That's the same blue that I'm using today. It's ultramarine with a little bit dulled down a little bit. I put a little bit of orange in it. I kind of kill it down. But that, and you can see today, like I love the pure blue in here, but I kind of cloudy it up. I put opaque glazes on it and stuff to kind of knock it back a little. These are old. This was from 2012, but I see the duck egg blue, you guys. There it is. That's that color. And I use it a lot. But this is a pretty old painting. This one's pretty old too. I think I went way back and now I'm coming forward. This is really different for me, but this again, there's that same blue. And you can see the cold wax. See how thick the surface is really dense. And so I can scrape back into it and draw. You can see those letter forms and everything. It's kind of cool. That's why I like cold wax. This was a 72 inch by 72 inch painting called Atlas. And for those of you who were on this show when we did the cooking one, Rebecca, who joined us, she bought this years ago. So this is in her house. It's pretty cool. I love it because I think of this and I think of her and I just know what, you know, I know who has it. But this was a really different painting compared to the one that it just changed. All of a sudden I put that blue on it and I just stopped. It just worked. This was one of my first really larger paintings. And if you're aware of the work that I'm doing now, this is a lot like the work I'm making now. And it's funny because I did this and then I didn't do any more like this. And I recognized this when I was going through this last night. I realized, wow, this is as wild as what I'm doing now. I just didn't have the confidence to do it. But this is Yeah, this is wax, oil paint, and oil pastel. And it's 80 by 108 inches. Okay, so here's a little 12 by 12. This is the same size as the one I'm making today. These little 12 by 12s are what I make at workshops. It's also what the size that we use in the Creative Visionary program. We're in the middle of the Creative Visionary program right now, and there's got all these people making. 12 by 12 is just such a great size. It's really, really fun. And this is acrylic, and there's some collage in it, and pencils, pencil line, and this is a oil painting, and it's got, you can see that pale blue in there, but it's not ultramarine, it's more purpley blue, but I called it twilight. In twilight, you get these amazing blues. So yeah, that was another one. And here's another 12 by 12. So 12 by 12s are great. I love them. And some of my best work are these smaller ones, because you can be so loose with it. And that's pure cobalt blue on that painting. I remember that. This is a 72 by 72. That's all blue. You know, I wanted to do a blue painting, limited palette, and that's
Do you recall what blue that was, Nick, that you used?
That was a mix of phthalo blue and cerulean blue and a little bit of ultramarine. It's a much cooler blue, but you can see on there that, you know, like it's blue, but there's variation in it. You know, there's, I'm using chalk on top, you know, I'm using oil pastel on top of it, and it's a little cloudier. And this is a recent one. That's phthalo blue. It's a much cooler sort of indigo phthalo blue. And then this one, this is just, I just did this recently. It's a bit of a weird slide, but that is that ultramarine blue as well. And that's 56 by 90, pretty large. All right. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is hop on over and let's go talk to Jane. How about see what Jane's up to today?
Okay, so it's saying you disabled my video.
I'm
so
gonna enable it right now, Jane.
Okay.
1 second.
Now, I'm just
Awesome.
gonna turn my camera back to my, I gotta keep working on this painting.
Good. There we go.
Am I on? Can you
Hey,
see
Jane.
me?
Yes, indeed.
Hi.
Hi.
How's
So
it
tell us
going?
again where you are and what, oh my God, you're making a blue thing. You're making a whole,
Yeah, I've just been sitting here working while you're chatting. So I'm in Wisconsin. It's freezing today. It's in the 30s, and we actually got some snow. So I'm happy to be inside today. For sure.
uh-huh. And what are you making there?
So this is just a little cabinet that I'm painting with. It's funny because it seems like everybody's using the same colors today, but I've got a light blue. I have a really beautiful, this is called Bohemian blue. I don't know if you can see it. I don't want to tip it too much because it'll spill all over my carpet.
That's like really rich, kind of earthy. It looks
This blue
more
is
green than blue.
so beautiful. Yeah, it's one of my very favorites. And then I've got this one called Cake Batter. You see, I don't really take care of my cans all that well. We got a ton of dry paint on them. But what's cool with this paint is that I can squirt all this dried stuff with water and it'll reactivate because it's clay-based. So I don't worry too much about that.
And tell us again the name of the paints, because a lot of people weren't here a few weeks ago when you went into these amazing paints.
Yeah, so it's called Debi's Design Diary DIY paints. They're all water-based, clay-based, chalk-style paints. And what's great about them is because they are clay-based, they have like 9 times the pigmentation. And so you can water them down to be like watercolors and they still retain their amazing, beautiful pigmentation. So I used some gel and I put a tissue inside of these panels and then on the drawers down here. And then I've just been sitting and blending. It's cool because like I said, it reactivates with water. So this side is kind of dry, but if I just squirt it with water, it reactivates, and then I can just go back in and start blending. So it's really fun.
It melts the paint. The paint doesn't, the paint is not waterproof? I don't understand.
It's clay based. And so if you think about clay, when it dries, you know, it dries lighter, right? And then if you put water on it again, you can manipulate it again. And it's the exact same thing with this paint.
So this cabinet, oh, I guess once it's done, then you have to seal it, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'll seal it with a sealer called Big Top. But then I'm also on this side, I think I used this the last time I'm using this paint too, but I have this wax, it's like a verdigris. And so I've been adding that on this side. So on this side, I already sealed it and then I put the wax on it. And then this wax is transparent. So it brings a beautiful color to it, but yet you can still see through what's underneath it. And so if you feel like you put too much on, you can wipe it back.
Wow.
And then I love just little rags like this, this terry cloth, because it leaves texture in it too. So it's almost like a tool in itself. So yeah, really fun.
Now where do you get that? Like, what are you going to do with that?
This?
Is it goes in your house or?
Oh, I'll sell it.
You sell it?
Yeah, I'll sell it. Yeah, it's funny, especially these little sizes for cabinets. People are looking for things like this all the time. So this will sell pretty fast, hopefully.
So tell us, like, if you find it, so here's what I do. I go to the flea markets, I find cool stuff, and then I never do anything. I'm like, oh, I would love this thing. This thing would look so good pink. And then I will never, I never do anything, and it just sits around. But you actually go out, find things, and then do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a picker. So I get most of my furniture from him. I don't know, it's been busy the last few years, so I don't have as much time to go out and select. And he's got all these different connections. So he gets me most of my pieces, and then I refinish them and sell them.
So let's say you, like, just for people who might want to start doing this, because this is kind of a cool thing, because you can paint, you get to do these projects, but you can then turn around and sell them. Like, let's say how much would you buy something for like that?
I think I paid $35 for this. And so, it just depends on what you do with it. Some people don't like wild stuff like this. They're like, that's beautiful, but I would not put it in my house. Some people just want white, they want gray,
Yeah, but there's going to be someone, and where do you advertise it and all that?
On my Facebook page.
Okay. And then what would something like that sell for? Like after you painted it?
I think in my market, I'm in Wisconsin, so we're kind of behind the rest of the country as far as that goes, but I'd say probably 150.
Yeah. So that's cool. You can do this, and then that's great.
Yeah. And it only takes me, I'd say, an hour-ish, depending on what I'm doing. I mean, I'm doing a lot of blending on this one, so this one might be a little bit longer, but it's really fun. And then, I have a lot of clients that, like, it's crazy. I walk in their house and, like, almost every piece of, table, buffet, dining set, whatever was done by me. And it's like almost overwhelming. Like, wow, thank you. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jane, we're getting a lot of questions about this brand of paint that you're using.
Yeah.
First question is, can you use this on other supports like canvas, paper?
Yeah, I use it on canvas all the time. Do I have one? I probably have one pretty near me, but anyways, yeah, it goes on anything. You can paint it on plastic, metal, wood, canvas, whatever. And what I love about the canvas is that you can water it down to be like a watercolor, and it blends so cool, while you're doing it. So it's really fun just to sit and play with it.
And can you use it in conjunction with other types of paints like acrylic or oil paint?
So I'm not sure about oil paint. It is a water-based paint. So you can use it, with with other things that are water-based just fine.
And then the also burning question people keep asking is, what do you do to finish these lovely pieces that you're working on after they're done? What do you use to seal them, to protect them?
So I've got a couple different sealers. It's the same company. This one is called Big Top. And this is their best. And what I love about this is it's solvent free. There's no VOCs. It's all water based. The dry time is like 30 minutes. And there's really only like 5 ingredients in these. Same with the paint too. So this is really safe for your kids as well. Like they could actually eat it and nothing would happen to them. Don't have them eat it, but they could. They could.
Yeah, people are loving this. So what kind of, well, actually, what's the name of the blue that you're using right now, Jane? If you
So this darker blue is called Bohemian blue, and it's honestly one of my favorite colors of all time. I use it a lot. It's beautiful all on its own, but it blends so beautifully with, you know, almost every one of their colors. I haven't found one color it doesn't look good with.
What is those inside the doors? There's some like patterns. What is that?
So it's this tissue. Let's see if I can get back far enough so you guys can see it. It's like a 20 by 30 piece of tissue. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just cut it, you know, and put different pieces. And then I've got, you know, I've got the extra little pieces that I'll just use for something else another time. They're really fun. They come in all kinds of different designs.
Where do you get those from, Jane? Do you make those yourself, or are you?
I'm actually a retailer, so I've got I've got a ton of different designs. They're really fun to use. They make it extra easy to make something, you know, really beautiful.
And what about the drying time of the paint you're using, Jane?
Because it's water-based, it dries really quick. A lot of times I just have like my little heat gun here and it'll dry right away. Like while you guys were talking, I dried this and top coated it and then waxed it. So really quick.
That's awesome.
And I love using like these little messy chip brushes because it makes really cool texture.
Where do you get those brushes from?
You know, like a hardware store. They're really cheap. They're like 89 cents. I like to use a 2-inch. That's just what I prefer, but
You're not getting like a specific like artist brand. It's just, I mean, it's just a
not at all. Yeah, these are the cheapies. You know, the only thing that's frustrating is that they shed a lot. So, you know, I try to, do I have a dry one? When I open them up, I usually just kind of flick them and pull them just to make sure, but they, you know, the bristles still come out. They're cheap, but they lift right off. Or if they dry, you can just sand it really quick with a, you know, a little sanding block or something as easy as that. It'll pop right off. So yeah, good fun.
Wow, that is so cool. Now, when you, let's say you did a whole base of your painting with this clay stuff, and then you came over the top of it with acrylic, would the acrylic stick to it?
Totally. Yep.
But then if I sprayed water on it, would it kind of like, would it deteriorate underneath the acrylic, which I think could be really cool, but right? Like, is the clay vulnerable once the acrylic is, you know, could you sand down to it? Would it?
Yeah. So what I would do if I was doing that is I would top coat this clay-based paint first and then do the acrylic. So then you can, you know,
wanted to make it so you could wear it away, you could do that.
Right. Then, yeah, then you wouldn't top coat it at all. And it sands really easily, and it also wet sands really easily. So you can take a rag and just spray it with water and it pulls off. So if you wanted to distress your edges, I don't know how well you can see that, but I mean, it's so easy to do.
Well, is it also that you could, what am I trying to say? If you, I guess you can scrape it and like wear it away. Like, can you carve into the clay? Like, can you make it really thick?
You can make it really thick. It'll take a little bit longer to dry it, but I know, like, so you like to carve into your acrylics, you could do that with these. Wow. But you need to, you know, you'd need to make it really thick. But the pigmentation's amazing. It's so beautiful. And then if you don't, you know, if you want to go back in and blend it, just don't top coat it. And if you get it wet, it'll reactivate and
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Wow.
it's just really pretty.
That is so cool. I think I would like to just, I would love to just get a big pot of it, the white, and then mix it with acrylic paint, you know, just play around with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll send you some.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd love to try.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very cool. And look at all that colors you have up there on that cabinet. Wow.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. And you know what else too is like if you just spray it and let it drip, I mean, it's really fun for that too. You know, you make all those little drippy looks with ease.
Uh-huh. Wow.
So it's fun. It's really fun just to mess around with.
I just don't think people really know about this kind of paint, you know?
Yeah.
Really cool. Awesome. Well, thanks, Jane. Really great.
Yeah, thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Can I ask one more question for Jane?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
please. If there's some questions, go for it.
People want to know what kind of knobs you're going to put on afterwards, and how do you choose?
So I don't know if I can open this. Hang on, let me see if I can. I always use, or I try to use the pulls that come with it because they were made for the piece. Oftentimes I don't change it because I feel like it takes away. This I'll probably end up putting some maybe metallic touches on it just to give it a little bit of, you know, maybe pull some of that yellow out or some of the coppery tones in there. But you can see how these were, you know, they're small enough. If they're missing pulls, I don't know. I usually try to keep it simple because I feel like this is the art piece. And if you put a crazy pull on top of it, it kind of takes away from that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And just one more time for some of the people who missed earlier, those inserts that you're using for the that design, where did you get those from? You said you sell them at your store?
Yeah, well, my store's closed, so I sell them on my website. Yeah, they're just beautiful, beautiful, the colors in them. And there's a whole bunch of different designs that are just, I just love them. I love that you can cut them apart or you can just use them as the whole big giant piece, you know, and they're gorgeous. And I use them on canvases too. I don't use them just on furniture. I use them for everything.
Cool.
They're just fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. God, you've done so much just in like, so.
Yeah, well, that's because of the paint. You know, it's just so easy to use. It spreads easy. It blends easy.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So fun.
Oh. Okay, well, I can't do that and do this. Maybe you can do it for me. Okay, cool. I'm gonna, for those of you, thanks so much, Jane.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
And Nick, just quickly, people want to know about the colored pencil you were using. I think it was just a white.
Yeah. We're gonna be talking to Stacy in a minute. And she sent these to me. So, and I just tried it for the first time. Wait a second, which was it? I think this white one is a paper, glass, plastic, metal, and it's aquarellable, Stabilo. So that's, yeah, that's what, and it's really nice, you guys. Now I'm gonna have to, when I'm done here, I'm gonna, you know, it's draws nicely on the acrylic. I was kind of amazed at that, but I'm gonna seal this, and then these will be permanent. But right now they're kind of on the surface. So, but yeah, I'm gonna sign this painting with this white pencil, which is kind of cool. Okay, so I thought I would share with you guys before we hop over to Stacy. I want to share you something just because it's fun to see people's work. Let me get here. Okay, I'm going to share with you guys. We did this mastermind on my team the other day, and oh boy. Let me just find it. Sorry. Hold on. And so we have a bunch of people's work on it. I just want to share with you what they're doing. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me share my screen.
And for the people on Instagram, we're getting back up in 1 second, okay?
Yeah, yeah. How's that going? Yeah, you didn't. Okay. All right. So we were looking at Nance's pictures, but if we keep going here, so we did this mastermind, and we did it as a live call. And so this is some of Jane's work that we were just talking to, and these are just experiments. She's doing CVP this year, and these are some of her projects. But this is pretty cool. We talked a lot about this one and just how beautiful it is. And she has this neat idea with this. This is about people's preconceived perceptions about who you are, and this idea that she has about, like, she struggles against that, and now in her life she's kind of coming out and just becoming who she wants to be, and that's sort of represented by the left side. And then these words and everything are all about people talking and people's perceptions that kind of hold you back. So it's pretty cool. This is Ferris, who's on this call. This is some of his recent work, literally, like, just being done. Okay, so yeah, Ferris, what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah, well, just maybe give us the quick and dirty here on.
Oh, sure.
This is oil paint, right?
Yeah, oil paint, using traditional oil paint, and also these, if you've talked about them before, these things called RNF oil sticks. They're like, it's literally a giant stick of oil paint you can just use like a pen, which I love because I learned how to paint using like pens and pencils. This is a piece I just started. We talked a lot about this, gave me a bunch of good ideas. Yeah, I'm very interested in this combination of abstract elements with the human form, and specifically portraits. I think it just, based off our talk yesterday, I need to push it even further. So this one, I really like where this is going. I usually don't start off this abstract and like wild, but it's so freeing to start like that, especially because, and this is basically a finished piece right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't actually get a chance to paint last night, unfortunately, but today I will. And yeah, I'm just eager to like take what you said and what everyone's on the team said and just put it more into action.
Cool.
So much fun, that call yesterday.
Really cool. This is Susan, who's not here today, but this is some of her more recent figurative work. This is her son, but so she's starting to get back into figurative work. I think this one's really cool. We all loved this one, the loose drawing on it. And this is what's so great. I feel like it's such a privilege to work with people in Art to Life, but they're all doing their own art too, which I love. And this is sort of how she makes the work. Isn't that cool? I'll go back so you can see that. So she starts, it's just sort of loose, almost abstract, and then she kind of converts it into a picture. And here's Terry, who's on this call. Terry, you here there?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. Okay, good. So, this is sort of like showing your dirty laundry, but, because you put these up there because you're struggling with them, but they're still really beautiful, and, they're great. But what are you thinking now, the day after?
Yeah, well, these are works in progress, and I'm like Ferris, I haven't had the chance. Well, they're in my studio because they're very large. I think this is a 60 by 72. And I haven't had a chance to go in and work on the things that you guys kind of helped me with, talking about the top left corner and if it looks like that, which I really love that idea. So hopefully I'll be able to get back there soon and work on these. And this one as well.
What are those reds made with? They look like, are you using like red matter or Pierrot red? They're like cool reds. You use a lot of cool reds, right?
Yeah, I do. I use a lot of cadmium red, and then I blend it with just a lot of different things to harmonize. But then I also sometimes I do like kind of a wash over it to push them back. So they don't really have a pure quality to them. They're kind of, some of them are even mixed on the actual painting instead of mixing them first and applying them. Or again, like a glaze over them to kind of push them back.
Okay.
So,
Beautiful.
and this one's also one of those works in progress.
Yeah, yeah. And these are, you're just doing tons here. These are all 12 by 12s. And do you see the frames, you guys? That's what this, how this painting is going to be framed. So these are all in those frames.
Yeah, and this is, I'm trying to do a series of 50 12 by 12s, and I'm up to 17. And these are just in order of how I did them, so I can kind of keep track of them for my inventory purposes. They're not named yet, so they're just 1, 2, 3, 4, untitled, all the way across. So,
God, how long do you spend on these?
you know, it's funny. These are kind of like, you know, you teach this in workshops and in CVP, and it's those play boards.
Oh, yeah.
That I just kind of like when I'm testing colors and I'm working on my big ones, I kind of just wipe paint that I have on my brush. And I'm very frugal. So I will never leave paint on my palette. I will always scoop it up and put it on something. So these end up being like base coats, and they just end up being where I just put my paint. And then this was a great opportunity during this quarantine to bring these home because they're small, and then just sit and relook at them, revise them, finish them, you know, just kind of like bring them to the, you know, I have time now to focus on.
Just beautiful, really.
Yeah.
Wow.
Terry, people are asking about what medium do you use?
I use
what you paint on too.
Yep, I paint on board, and these are 12 by 12 boards, this series of 10 right here. And I use probably 90% acrylic paint. Sometimes I use Posca markers. I use China markers, pencil, but yeah. And sometimes beeswax crayons, and sometimes oil sticks, but not always. So just mostly acrylic.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
and then we critiqued you.
oh yeah, we don't have to go there. So, where are we? Are we still at this? Are we still at $2,000 with this painting here that we're making?
I'm glad you asked because I have an update.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we are now at 2,500.
Oh my God.
You want to know the name of the person?
Yes, of course.
It's Christine, and in parentheses, she said, "I really want this painting." So,
wait, so Christine bid more on top of Christine?
Yes. So I think she's really, really liking your painting, and I can see why, because I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Okay, well, it's, you know, unless something drastic happens in the last 10 minutes, I've still got some little refinement things to do on this painting, but it's getting there. Now, so I want to hop over to Stacy because we're running out of time here. I'm sorry about that. Stacy, are you there?
Stacy, I'm going to ask you to turn your camera on here. Oh, you did it.
Here I am. I did it.
Hey.
Hi, you guys.
Listen, thanks for the art supplies you sent me, because this paper glass pencil, I just used this.
Oh, you know what? You're welcome. And just so you know that those Stabilos, it's the same thing as this Woody.
Oh, is it? Okay.
This is just thicker, and the black one's the same. They come in all different colors, but they are water-based. So if you sign with it, then seal it.
I got to seal it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause you can dip them in, like I draw with them dry, or I dip them in water, or I draw with them dry and then go in with a brush and manipulate them. So they're really fun.
That is so cool. Wow. We're in your workshop.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been really fortunate. I get to go between my apartment and my studio because there's 50 studio spaces here, but I'm the only one here. And then Sean, who's next door to me, but I just get to come into my own space and work. So I'm really fortunate that way.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Hey, I love painting like this. We should do this like all the time.
I know. Just don't you love it? I love it.
Oh my God. I've been working on 3 different pieces.
Whoa.
And And you know that part of your brain that just lets go of your judgment, because I'm listening to you and listening to you guys talk and not really thinking too much about it. So it's super
I
fun.
totally, this is what I love. This is the best part of workshops. It's just like this, where you're just making stuff and you're not really thinking that much, and people are talking and sharing things, and I love it. I love doing it.
Yeah, I do too. It's a really freeing way to, and then you kind of come back and look at it with a different light going, wow, who did that?
Yeah, totally. So what do you got? Share us what you're making today.
Okay, I'm gonna put my camera down a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Let's see if this is, how's that angle?
That looks great.
Good.
Yeah.
Is that good? Okay.
Yeah.
That looks
So are these in the way? I can kind of barely see it, but okay. So I'm working on papers that I've created texture on. And I started, can you see those okay? Is that a good angle?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay. So these are handmade watercolor papers that I found a couple of years ago. And I've been treating them like this one has golden absorbent ground on top of it. This one is a molding paste. And then this one is the coarse molding ground. And ceramics is my background, so I really love having some texture. And because these are, because they're acrylic, they're really flexible. So if, what?
Yeah, no, I see that. That's great. They're like, like watercolor paper.
So I've worked with like a joint compound before, but the joint compound reactivates and it also isn't flexible. So so I've been playing with these, and then I started with blues. I brought it was really fun. I love this prompt. So I brought out my high flow blues, and then my fluids and my heavy bodies.
So what's high flow mean? Well,
So
tell us all the three different things.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. And so the heavy body is the one that comes in this tube, and it is just what it sounds like. It has a heavy body consistency, and so it's going to show your brush strokes and your peaks, so it'll hold that. The fluid is, they're all the same thing because they're acrylics. The fluid has a different viscosity, that's why it's called fluid. But the thing to remember is there's the same amount of pigment in the fluid that there is in the heavy body.
Oh.
So it's not watered down. It's just a different viscosity of the polymer fluid. So it's kind of like when you're, it's like cream, or milk product, cottage cheese, cream, half and half. They're all the same thing. They're just different consistencies, right?
Right.
So, and you can take this heavy body and make it more fluid with your fluid mediums, but it's kind of nice because they already do it for you, and it comes with this nice flip top, which I love.
Yeah, wow.
And then the high flow, which used to be called airbrush, is this is more like an ink. And again, it's not water, it's the polymer in it. So they all have the same binder and tons of pigment in it, but it's more like an ink. So you could use it, put this right in your airbrush and not have to manipulate it at all. But I like using the high flow for glazing, and also just because it's got so much pigment in it, it works really well. And the same with the fluids, just to tint and mix your colors. Did that make sense?
I love this, Stacey, what you're doing. People don't know. Could you actually just quickly put up your work a little bit closer to the camera? The one piece you're working on right now, they really want to see.
Sure. Talk me through it, because it's really, because of the light, I can't see it.
A little bit down, just a little bit. Perfect, right there. Yeah. And then what kind of wood are you painting on right now?
It's not wood.
Oh, that's not.
So it's handmade paper.
Canvas. Okay. And Nick, what kind of wood are you painting on? Is that birch wood, I believe, right?
Yeah, this is, I believe this is birch plywood.
Yeah, so these are 12 by 12 and it's handmade paper. This one I put the coarse molding paste on. Can you see that?
Yes, that looks good.
And so it has it's got a lot of texture to it. It's almost like sandpaper. So the more you work on it and add paints to it, it just gets this really great texture to it. And then it just starts absorbing the paint. And then this one, I've just been doing these since we started. So these are just creating layers. This one is the molding paste. No, this one is the absorbent ground, which is right here. And then this one is the molding paste. And this could be one of my favorites, the molding paste. And again, they're really flexible. And I do the same thing kind of that Nick and the other one was talking about, like the acrylic, it'll get a little bit shiny because that's the nature of it. And then I'll use I'll go in with a soft gel matte and cover it, and then use maybe a little bit of the cold wax on top of it when I'm finished. Because I do a lot of oil and cold wax as well, and I like that texture.
Stacy, people want to know, when you finish your piece and it's ready to go, how do you frame it? Do you mount it on anything? What do you do?
That's a good question for these. I don't have one of the frames in front of it. I mean with me, but I use, so those same frames that Nick has, I mount these in the same frame. But what I do is I'll mount it on a smaller board behind it, and then mount it and then put it in the frame so that the edges, because I love these edges, so that the piece is floating in the frame.
Do you need to seal the wood that you mount your piece on with anything, or is it just kind of ready to go with just standard, adhesive?
I usually seal it with like a matte medium or the gloss medium, just because I don't want it to warp. But I think if I just use glue on it, it's really not necessary, because it's behind it. It just acts kind of as a lift and as a base. I'll show you, like, here's a good piece that's finished that I used collage on. So you can see how textural that is, right? And then the more you add onto it, like I'm really building this layer up, it's pretty stiff on itself by itself. But then I'll put a piece of board on it and then float it on that.
People are loving this paper. They want to know, this paper, what kind of paper is it again?
It's a handmade watercolor paper, and I don't have the name of it with me, but I'll give it to you so that we can put it in the PDF.
And do you make this paper yourself? Someone asks.
I don't. I do enough on my own, although I love making paper. But I found this down when I was in New Mexico a couple of years ago, and it's a beautiful paper, and it comes different sizes, but I love the 12 by 12. Here, I can show you. And I do gesso it first. So this is the paper just the way that it comes. So it's a really beautiful paper, but then you can see how much I've done to it to, where it starts building up, and it almost becomes like a board. And then what I'll do is I'll gesso it. I gesso both sides because I want it a little bit stiffer. And then I'll use, I'll put it on a piece of, I use Tyvek, like a Tyvek or a freezer paper, and I'll put it on top of that. And then, because I want to go over the edges. And then when I do this in oil and cold wax, I do the same thing. I'll just tape it to the back, and then I'll go over the edges and then create a layer of the coarse molding paste or the molding paste. And then once it's attached to this, I can move it around my studio and just move it like, move it without, like this, without disturbing the edges.
Fantastic. My apologies for asking this again, but what's the name of the adhesive you use to adhere the piece to the panel?
I use the paper to the panel. I use a wood glue.
Like Elmer's or something like that?
No, not Elmer's. Elmer's has a tendency to crack and yellow. So I don't use that. I'll have my framer do it, and sometimes a framer, and that might be a little bit better. I'm still experimenting with that, like the wood glue, or if a framer's doing it, which is probably better, then he'll use an archival removable tape that is really solid, but it also makes it so that you can, 100 years from now when it's in the museum, that they can take it out and clean it.
That's awesome. One more question, if you wouldn't
Sure,
mind.
sure.
Regarding once the piece is finished, how do you transport it? How do you get it to the person? I'm assuming you can't just roll it up and send it to them. You probably have to do a little bit more than that, I would imagine.
Well, these are 12 by 12 inches. So these fit really great in just a little 12. If I'm shipping, you mean?
If you're shipping, let's say, yeah.
Yeah, well, usually, what I've done before is I have them framed, and I'll just create a little box for it. Or if I've sent it unframed, which I've done before, that's super easy. I just put a piece of release paper over the top, which you always want to do with your paintings, with acrylic, or oil. And then I can put it in between two pieces of cardboard and create a sleeve for it and ship it really easy.
That's awesome. Maybe one more question. People just can't get enough of this paper. Actually, I want to know more about your practice. Do you use other types of supports like Bristol paper or canvas, or are you really enjoying this type of paper right now?
Right now, this is so seductive to me. I love it. So I'm exploring this, but no, I work on panels like wood, like Nicholas does. I like wood panels, and I work on, I work on some canvas. I like having something to push back on. So more cradled panels and just the wood panels. I have, I'm fortunate because my boyfriend can make panels for me, but I get pretty physical with my work, scraping through and sanding down and adding on to it. So mostly wood.
Just seeing if there's any more questions here. Nick, maybe a couple questions for you. Would that be okay? Yeah. Someone wants to know, when you use acrylic, or when you use those oil sticks, or when you use oil pastels in conjunction with acrylic, could you talk a little bit more about that process, and also how do you seal those once they're dry?
Okay, so you're talking about oil pastels. So let's see, oil sticks have a dryer in them, and they do dry, but oil pastels don't, and those don't dry. So you have to add something to that. So what I do is I will brush on liquid so that they will dry at the end. And it's kind of a bit of a mess, but that's the only way I can get them to dry, the oil pastels. So that's what I do.
And can I add something to that, Nick?
Yeah, please.
So not the oil sticks, but a lot of people have been asking about the R&F pigment sticks.
Yes.
So I use those a lot, and they are beeswax and linseed oil. So, and pigment. So because of the beeswax, they dry a little bit faster than your regular oil pastels. And as you know, you've used them, they're a little bit, they're more like lipstick. But, and you can mix those with your oil paint, or, put them on top of acrylic as well, but they dry a little bit faster.
Okay. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
fun.
What was that?
I said, so fun.
Yeah, I love what you're making.
Thanks.
All right, listen, we're at 1:30. We're going over here. We're almost done here. I want to
Thanks, Nick. I'll talk to you later.
Terry. Okay, thanks, Stace. Again, everything we've talked about, we're going to try and include the links for you guys in the kitchen table art project. So Terry, do we have a final? We're about to finish here. So what do we got?
Yep. So we are at 2,500 and it's Christine. So while Nick is wrapping up, we take bids in increments of $10. So if anybody's out there wanting to
25-10 going, we've got about 2 seconds left. I'm just gonna, so what I'm doing now, you guys, is I'm gonna just sign this and then I'm gonna put gloss medium on it and then seal it. And then I'm gonna put wax on it a little later today and get it ready for, it looks like Christine. Awesome. All right. Okay, so no going once, going twice kind of thing? We're wrapping up here.
Yep, I think it's going once, going twice, and
Okay.
no bids are in.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. And Christine and all of you who bid, this is great, man. We're donating to a really great thing and we're all helping. So, so fun and just really great. We're trying to figure out a way to get some of you guys on this call. If you're interested in that, maybe leave some notes in the comments. We're just trying to figure out a process because you see, everyone's got, all I said to some friends was like, we're just talking about blue paintings, but there's so much, people have so many tricks and so many cool things they've got and special ways of doing it. It's just fun to learn. So hope to see you next week. If you're interested in being a guest on this show, put a note in the comments and we're going to figure out a way that you guys we can do this in an easy way. We don't want to make this too complicated. It's already pretty complicated. Again, the show notes will be available tomorrow, kitchentableartproject.com. Many people are using Oh, that's what we forgot to do. We forgot to share the winner. Oh, shoot. We'll do it next week. But if you use the hashtag Kitchen Table Art Project in the Facebook group, the Art to Life Facebook group, which you can join, or on your Instagram, we're gathering those and we select a winner and we give a gift certificate to the Art to Life store for $50. So that's just another fun thing that we're doing. So thanks for being here. Really, really fun to paint and work and talk with you all today. Okay, we'll see you soon. Bye.